Dustin, what's up? Can you hear me okay? Let me know if you can hear me okay. Crackly. Hold on. Hold on. Go to the headset. Ooh, yeah, do that. Ooh. How about now? How's it now? Better? Okay. Is it still crackly? Okay, so it's not cracking anymore. Okay, cool. Then we're the headset. We'll wait for a few more people to get in. What you been doing today? I'm in Memphis, Arkansas, West Memphis, Arkansas. I have a load that delivers tomorrow. Hey, she brings. What's up, baby? I got a load that I'll hang with your best friend. Okay. Yeah, I load that delivers tomorrow. I was gonna try to get in early. Hey, Paula. I'm doing good up here now. I'm in Memphis, Arkansas. I went to Walmart. I got in several hours ago, but I went to a Mexican food restaurant. I'll be doing a yummy on that. Which I've been to before. I didn't realize where I was. Chicago, BBW. What's up, baby? I used to work for a Conway, and their yard is just up the street. And when I got here, I was like, this looks damn familiar, because I was thinking it was a different part of Arkansas. I was thinking of a totally different location. And once I got in here, I'm like, oh, I know this place. It's ghetto as hell. It's horrible. Hey, Tawana Greer, what's up? You from Detroit? I've been through Detroit. Usually when I go through Detroit, I stay at the Detroiter. You know what I'm talking about? It's a secured lot and best. There's right behind it, I know, just up the street a little bit. What's that hamburger place called? Five Guys. First time I ever had a Five Guys burger, it was good as hell. I ain't gonna lie, it was good as hell. I want to do that. No, go ahead. Have some chips and salsa. Oh, you use bad. Sunflower seeds. Oh, I'm gonna tell y'all, I'm a huge sunflower seed person. This right here is bomb. Some good sunflower seeds. Taco Bell seasons, Taco Supreme. And I hate Taco Bell. But that seasoning on them sunflower seeds is gonna hit. Okay, somebody said something. Hold on. Y'all know I'm talking about food. Paula Gilmore, what's up? In Tennessee? Yeah, my aunt's in Nashville. Weren't you on here the other day? And I told you mom was in Nashville. I think that's it. I went through Illinois, part of Chicago, but I wasn't in Chicago for a minute because I was just heading straight through. Um, I left Indiana, which was Indiana, Wisconsin, and I had to go somewhere in Indiana. I forgot Lebanon, Indiana, so I had to go through Chicago, and I hauled ass through there. Micheline, oh, I like that. Pierre, how you doing, baby? Um, Micheline, that's pretty. Okay, you making your money, Paula. I ain't mad at you. What do you drive? I'm good, Micheline. Am I saying your name right? Micheline. That's very pretty. I've never seen that before. Okay, I like that. It's different, but I like it. NR, what's up, baby? Welcome to the channel, y'all. We got some new people in here, but I like this name. Not knocking anybody else's name, but y'all know like Michelle A. Remember that Michelle A? I don't know if y'all remember that. I'm West Coast, so Michelle A was the bomb. She part of that whole NWA crew. Was with Dr. Dre originally. Loved that her little squeaky voice because sang her butt off, right? Anyway, Micheline. I'm looking at Micheline's name. Micheline Pierre. Okay, is it French? Was your parents trying to do something French? I mean, what was they doing? I'm like, because that's actually cool as hell. Oh, okay, everybody does Michelle A. You okay? Yeah, because it's kind of a weird name like that. It's kind of unique. Yes, French. Okay, figured as much. Well, I bought one. I bought a CB. Okay, so let's talk real quick about CBs. I'm on here for another discussion. I was waiting to see if NATO was going to come in because NATO asked the question. I'm still going to address the question, but NATO asked me a question. I'm gonna have to turn the truck on up here. Um, but I'm gonna address a CB thing here in a moment. Oh, I didn't know he tried to stop a movie about it, but yeah, because apparently they were together, and I guess he was very abusive to her. And it kills me when these females, yeah, they go for these dudes, and the dude ends up with a whole other chick. I've looked at the Fibber already. I'll be looking at it more once I get back to Lubbock, Dustin, and reaching out to find out about logos and stuff. And we'll get the T-shirts and all that stuff going on. I do it for this channel as well as for the 411. So I got two, because the 411 Facebook, we're starting to grow because I guess people are going from here to there. And then I've got a lot of new drivers coming in. Actually, I just talked to one today in the background. And then I'm reaching out to a couple people for either admins. I got one guy who's posting content from, I haven't forgot about the CB. I'll come to the CB in a minute. I got one guy who's coming from, him and his wife are up in New York. And he's been posting what he does up in New York, which I think is good because I have several people who are from the East Coast. And I can't give you a lot of information on the East Coast. I don't like driving the East Coast. It's pretty, but it's a pain in the butt. So somebody who's up there who's dealing with that and has trucking jobs in that area, he's posting what he does. And I like that because if people have questions, they can ask him. So I've just given him pre-approval rights to post about his job because we need to see that. I mean, I need drivers who are up in that area to see that, to see what options they have available to them. So if they ask me questions, I mean, all I can say is what part of the country you're in, and then I'll direct them either to Heidi or something like that, or if I have a few, or I'll call Tricker Bill. Because Bill done driven all over the U.S., and he know companies out his butt. And then I'll get back in touch with him. But I can't tell you, I'll go to this company. Up is not as comfortable as the back. The back of the seat is fine. The Freightliner, if I could stretch my legs out more, but I get a little more cramp in the front when I'm doing my legs if I'm just sitting up here to sit. CBs. I gotta hook mine up. So here's my view on CBs, and I'm sorry I make my sunflower right? I personally don't see them as critical, but I see them as a tool. So it's like a hammer, it's like a screwdriver, it's like zip ties, it's like WD-40, it's like, the oil or whatever you may need to put on the landing gear or on the tandems. It's like that to me. It's like a tool. It's like fifth wheel grease. You don't need it every day, but every so often you may need it. For ladies, the CB, unless you like the conversations on there, for ladies, sometimes, and even for fellas who don't want to hear it, the CB can get raunchy. It is a place where, from my old days, especially when you're here at truck stops, they will talk about lot lizards. It can get raunchy. They will talk about women coming to do them in their truck. They will ask for those services and see if they're available. There can be racial conversations on there. It can get raunchy. If you are just driving a truck and you want to use a CB, where I use my CB and I don't even have it on all the time, most of them will come with weather band on them. And the best time to me to use them is when you have an accident or a backup on the freeway and you want to hear what's going on. because you may be all the way like 5 miles back and traffic is stopped, or 20 miles back, traffic is stopped, and you don't fly. You're not like in Chicago. You're not in, let's say you're not in Chicago. You're not in New York. You're not in Cali. Let's say you're in Mississippi. And all of a sudden, all the traffic just comes to a dead damn stop. So now you need to know what's going on, okay? I was coming, for example, out of Maryland. Road was moving real smooth. Everything came to a dead stop. There's no nothing, no signs, I'm stopped. I didn't have a CB. But if I had a CB, you can radio up, you can listen, and somebody's going to ask the question, hey, going on up ahead. Some people leave it on because you have truckers that if there's an accident, like there was a video, I forgot who the guy is. He put up one of his buddies. The dude was driving crazy, came around a corner too fast, turned the truck over. So the trucker that was up there, which was his buddy, he immediately got on the radio and told people, basically, what did he say? Pull it back, pull it back, pull it back. Something like pull back, fellas. We got an accident up here. Pull back. Or hold back. Basically, and there was something else he said, but basically, hey, Ray for Tube, what's up? Basically, what he was doing was warning people that they need to slow down because when they came up there, this truck is turned over. Let's see, Ray for Tube, Hot Triple Dog. The talk on the CB can get ready. Yeah, I just mentioned the racist part. And they can be very ugly. So I don't have when I had my other CB, which is almost the same exact one I had, this might be a newer model, I didn't actually have my CB on. I only use it in case of traffic. I think it's great in the winter months when things are crazy and you want to know what's going on up ahead. It's iffy. It's just iffy. Some people like to get on there and talk shit. I mean, back in the day, I had truckers get on there and just start singing. You have some truckers out here with some beautiful voices. There was a brother who got on there and did a gospel song on a Sunday. And honey, you couldn't hear, nobody even interrupted it. It was so pretty. But that is not always the case. The majority of what you hear on the CB is a bunch of negative, sexually or racially explicit conversations. And with the climate that we're in today, I'm sure it's at an all-time high. So, especially with the leadership we have and, some of his racially motivated views that have empowered certain folks to just feel they can say and do what the hell they want to do. So, and not being negative I'm not saying all white people or all whatever you are, but, we are seeing a resurgence of stuff because there's this strange freedom. My dad just told me, I guess there's a Jewish synagogue or something that got shot up again up in Cali. And I'm like, Lord have mercy, So, which is going to bring us to our topic from NATO. NATO asked for this topic. I don't know if they'll come in or not, but she can watch later and I'll answer the questions on it. So I'm going to do a topic here, response to NATO B, who's usually in here. Let's see, Paula Gilmore. Okay, it was produced by Oprah. Okay. Let me see if I missed anybody. And Laverne Blackwell, I am doing good. How are you? Trying to see if I missed any questions before I get into this topic. All right. Tawana Greer, we already got you in Detroit. I told you I stayed at the Detroiter. I used to stay at the Detroiter when I go out there. And that's the first time I had a Five Guys burger, and the Five Guys burger is bomb diggity. Yeah, I'm going to talk about some stuff with that. NATO B, who might pop in here, but sent me a question in the background, and I decided to deal with it on Sunday. So it is basically somewhat of a Christian-based question. It is a religious-based question. It's a politically based question. It's a racially based question. And she asked me to discuss something. I did a little review on the question, a little bit on what I sense she's asking about. As some of you don't, I am licensed as a minister. I use like in the background, I do a prayer group. I'm not perfect. I never will say I'm perfect because my big thing right now is swearing. I swear in this industry. I didn't swear for a long time, but I came back to this industry and it's like, It just comes out. The BS word, the S word, those are really big ones for me. I got to work on them. Um, the F word may come out, the F bomb may come out, but I have to be really in a special zone for that to come out. So I never claim to be perfect in my Christian walk, and I think there was one point I was trying to be so structured, so in a box that, as Joyce Meyer say, you so a Christian, you know earthly good. So meaning that you so rigid that you can't even learn to interact with people sometimes where they're at. Well, I'm not there anymore. So NATO B sent me a question, and it regarded ham. Um, it regarded ham, and this is not really a trucking question, but I'm finding that now the channel has grown, but I've talked about, I guess, stuff that people, I have my own philosophical views and my own Christian views and my own life views. And so some people have jumped on here because of that. And even some of the things that have happened to me as a female, some people have been, drawn to that and have joined the channel. So I realize I'm going to have a little bit broader scope in some of the things that I talk about, but I don't just drive a truck. I'm a human being behind this truck, right? We talk about Grumpy. Grumpy's not really part of the whole truck issue. He's just grumpy. And for those of you who know who Grumpy is, Grumpy's my father, which kind of that plays a little bit of a role here because it made me think about some stuff. Hey, Quan, what's up? Quan's in here, so let me say that. Thank you, Quan. When you pop in, I always remember. Everybody, if you are new to the channel, if you're not new to the channel, if you're seeing the channel, if you're watching the video, give us a thumbs up, right, Quan? Give us a like. If you aren't subscribed, subscribe. Hit the bell if you want reminders about the lives or whatever we do on here. So do that. And appreciate it. Hope you're doing good, Miss Quan. Quan the gamer, I love that, Quan. So here's what's going on. Her question was about ham. Okay, this is NATO B asked a question about ham. She asked what my view was on the curse of ham, and did she think that, or did I think that African Americans descended from ham and are under that curse? And I went back to read her question today because I've been thinking about it for a few days. And I told her I was going to discuss it. So I went back to research the question. I wondered, where is this coming from? In some of my Google research, I realized that this is also a justification that was used. I am in Memphis. I am in West Memphis. Yes, Quan. This was a justification that was used. Actually, I used to work here. CFI is just up the street. Literally, because I was like, what the heck? I'm here. I went to this little Mexican restaurant. Hey, Cat Eyes, what's up, baby? It's another Mexican restaurant with you. But anyway, let me get back to the topic. So she asked, did I think that African Americans descended from ham, and are we under the curse of ham? And I was like, I go back to my history, my Bible history a little bit. So for those of you who don't know who Ham is, Ham was the son of Noah. For those of you who don't know who Noah is, which I would be very shocked, Noah is the human being and his family who survived the flood that God did to destroy the earth the first time based upon the moral corruption of mankind. And he basically caused it to rain and caused the earth to fill with water and destroy all of mankind except for one family, which was Noah's family. And Ham was Noah's son, okay? So for those who went to church, for those of you who did church but hopefully heard of the story, Noah was a surviving family from the flood. And he had taken all the animals on board to repopulate the earth after the flood water subsided, okay? So that is Noah, okay? Now, where's my paper bag? My understanding, when I read her question and then went and researched it a little bit, is that, I guess, from just some of the publications I looked at, certain groups, ethnic classes, white folks, use that, who are maybe of a certain group, in order to justify the pigmentation of our skin. And basically say that we came from Ham, and that is why we're black, that is the curse. that we were black, that we were black skinned, and to justify slavery. Certain groups. When I read it, I hadn't really ever identified that because I never got caught up in all of that craziness. I was a little blown back. But then, as I said and thought about it, I'm not blown back. Because the same group that justified our slavery presented us with a blonde, blue-eyed Jesus or a brunette, straight-haired Jesus with blue eyes that look like them. Now, I have never been one, and I am huge on this, who I don't like the whole color thing. I don't like the whole racial thing because it is the most ignorant thing that was ever created. And it has caused the dumbest ass divide. God forgive me for putting it that way. I'm just going to keep it real and pray that he gives me the wisdom on what to say in mankind. It really is just dumb as hell. Okay? There is one race in this whole world. It's called a human race in a scientific manner. The Bible calls us man, M-A-N. Okay? I'm going to go back to the beginning. So there's going to be a little bit of a talk. So it calls us man. Okay? So man, mankind. You have man, you have woman. Okay? Two entities. Okay? That's what we are. It did not describe us as the black man, the white man, the green man, the purple man. It didn't describe us as any of that. Matter of fact, when the Bible starts dealing with a lot of us, and when it broke off, it talks about where we're from. If you're let's say a Canaanite or an Israelite, a Hebrew, Greek, Egyptian, it talks about your ethnicity of origin, where you're from, what group of people you're from. It never really dealt with the skin color issue. This is something that came up later on and has caused one of the biggest divides. The sad part about what's going on today is that same, what we call racially motivated thing that's going on right now in our country, a whole nother country is using that to kind of divide us internally. And we're too dumb and we're getting caught up, okay? And I'm not calling her question dumb, but I understand why this kind of stuff is bubbling to the surface right now. There's an old saying, a house divided against itself cannot stand. So Russia and all these other companies that have infiltrated our social media groups, which is a new way by which we get our news, we live, we're inspired, we believe, it's bizarre, and we take that as almost gospel, which is scary. We don't research beyond what we see. Now what we see is truth, which is not true. I mean, you should also research what I'm telling you. You should go find out for yourself. You should crack your own Bible. If you go to church, please don't always believe the minister in the pulpit, because some of them is full of it. Trust me, I have worked with them. Some of them are corrupt, dirty, nasty, disgusting. And I'm just saying, there's some that are truly sincere. Some who are devout, some who truly love God, and some who are there for position and money. I'm just keeping it REAL, okay? Don't believe them. Go learn for yourself, okay? Now, with that being said, we got to go back through history, okay, and go look at the situation. And we got to understand who we are and where we came from. First part, hey, United Independent Drivers, the first part of the whole ham discussion is let's go back original, okay? So the first humans that were created was Adam and Eve, biblically by my belief system. You believe something else, this discussion might not be for you because you're not going to agree with me. If you think we came from primordial ooze and all that stuff, this is not going to fit you because I'm not going to agree with that. That's insanity. In my world, in my belief system. And you can believe what you want to believe. I'm not going to argue. I'm not going to fight. I just don't. I don't believe we came from primordial ooze. I believe God spoke and it happened. I believe the God of the Bible exactly described to us what took place. That is what I believe. So if you don't believe that, then you might want to go find something else to watch, because that's what it's going to come from, okay? From my background understanding. He spoke, the Bible tells us that he spoke man into existence. And then it tells us when he spoke man, he created one, okay? He then split them off. So they split off into two. He had the male part of man and the woman part of male. So the male, I call it male man, the male man and the female man, okay? These two individuals were then created, okay? What's very interesting with this is that I don't know what he want, but you coming up to my truck, I'm not opening the door, I'm not rolling the window, I'm on the phone. What's interesting about this, hold on, let me move, because sometimes if I move to the back, y'all know I get better signal. Oh shoot, don't want to lose that. Hold on, y'all, let me see if I move back. Y'all know sometimes I go back to the bunk, I get better signal. Hold on. I'm headed to the back. Hold on. All right. How's signal now? Is it bad? Wow. Hey, Nikki. How's the streaming now? Am I still buffering? Is it better? Let me know if the signal's better. Hold on. Ah, shit. See, I said a bad word. I stepped on. I gotta get my feet done, y'all. I don't know about y'all, but I do. What's that called? Pedicures, manicures. I do the pedicure. I need a pedicure. Better signal. Okay, better. All right, cool. Hold on, y'all. I'm getting in my bunk. Yep. Crawling the fat butt in the bunk. Yep. All right. Hold up. Can you see me? Is it okay? We're still good? Hey, stop. We're getting ready to have a little Christian discussion. Where we were. Okay. So everybody can see me. Okay, so I'm finishing off. Dustin will talk about that issue in a little bit. Okay. So, just to catch everybody up who's on here, I had a question from NATO B. The question was about, are we as African Americans under the curse of Ham, who was the son of Noah? Okay. And I had never heard this before. So she asked me this about a week ago, maybe last week sometime. And I told her I would discuss it. I haven't seen her on here, but I'm going to discuss it and she can go back and play it. If she jumps in, y'all let her know. So now that we're not buffering, let me back up. So hopefully y'all heard me. So we're going to go back to beginning stuff, okay, to really kind of find out where we are. What I found out that the whole Ham thing is something that is a political, racially motivated thing that was used by a certain group of people to justify slavery and to, I guess, try to give a reason why our skin is black. And that the curse of Ham, in their view, was the fact that he was a dark-skinned person, supposedly. I have no idea, but it's insanity. Anyway, so what I'm doing right now is just setting the stage to kind of get to where I'm going to go. So we're going to go back to the beginning, which is Adam and Eve, and we're going to come back down to Noah. And Ham was Noah's son, okay? So y'all don't know who Ham is. So mankind, in my view, this is from a Christian perspective, mankind, biblically, started with Adam and Eve. And originally when God spoke, he said, I'm creating man, my image and my likeness, right? He created one. He split them off spiritually, female man and the male man, he said that way, and created two different spirits. Eve was held longer in whatever spiritual stasis or with God longer, but Adam was put in the spiritual world and in the physical world first, okay? So at this point, you got Adam. He's created from the dirt, from the mist, which is water, and God blows a spirit, his spirit, into Adam to bring him to life. So he puts Adam's spirit into the shell. This is why we call this a shell or a tent, Paul. That's what he called it. Into this shell, what we call a body. That's why I say when we die, the spirit, person takes their last breath, that's gone. It's gone. You're going back to where you spiritually came from, and now you're having that talk with Jesus to find out where you're going to spend your spiritual eternity, okay? So, follow me there. Eve later comes about when God takes the rib from Adam and creates Eve, okay? So, flesh of my flesh, bone of my bone. She comes from the rib, okay? Now, I'm not getting into the whole heterosexual conversation on that, but he created that man and that woman, and they were meant to become one again in the flesh realm as husband and wife. That's why when a man and woman get married, one flesh tells them you become one. So you reunite again, okay? Hey, Smooth Trucking, you guys may have to go back to kind of pick up because I don't want to start from the beginning, but y'all may pick up. At this point, the male is created, the female is created. We're not talking race. It's irrelevant, okay? It's irrelevant. And we use the word race so loosely because we have bought into this theoretical crap that was put on us about race being skin color. That is not race. We are one race, whether we are African American, whether we are Anglo-Saxon, which would be considered the white race, or European, I said European whites, or whether you're Jewish, whether you're Egyptian, whether you're Irish, it doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. We are one human race. In the scientific term, in the God term, we are man, okay? We are man. You're either a male man or a female man, also known, another scientific word, as mankind, okay? So let's wrap our head around that. We go through some things that transpire from sin, the fall of man, all that crap that happens in the beginning. Sin steps in. We find out about an enemy called Satan, a fallen angel. He steps in, and then we bridge down to someone called Noah. Because sin stepped in, the world began to get waxed worse and worse and worse and worse and worse, to a point where God was disgusted, okay? He's God. He created us. He's our father, our parent, okay, so to speak. So at this point, he's daddy. And he's disgusted with his children. So daddy says, you know what I'm going to do? Right now, I'm only finding one man among you who believes in me, follows me, who's doing what I want to do, who knows that I'm here. And that man is going to have to, basically, I'm going to take that man, I'm going to save him. I'm going to save his family so they can repopulate the earth. And on top of that, everything I created in the beginning with Adam and Eve, the animals, all that stuff, I want you to get 2 of them each so they can mate and we can rebuild the earth. But I'm getting ready to wipe all this drama out. So he wipes it out with a flood. Okay? And I'm moving this story quickly because it'll take too long and it's going to be kind of long to go through this step by step on histories. And I'm just giving you like a layman storyline. Noah builds the ark at God's direction, inspiration. Everybody thinks he's crazy. He builds this ark. He starts collecting the animals, gets them on there. He ends up with his family and the animals on the ark. It begins to rain. God does exactly what God told him he was going to do. Floods the earth, which drowns all of mankind. Noah stays in this boat, as we know, the ark, for a period of time, sends out the birds in order to find out if there's land yet. And eventually, as land comes back, Noah and his family end up back on land, and Noah ends up doing something that his son Ham, I guess, came upon, and there are some questions as to, because the Bible uses a certain terminology, and there's questions sometimes as to what that terminology could mean. Most of us know the story as he looked upon his nakedness, and his father was drunk. Noah got drunk, and he had looked upon his dad's nakedness. Now, a lot of things can be taken from that. Looked up on the nakedness could be he looked up on it, he told the family about it, he said stuff instead of covering his father up. He went out there and told, other folks in the family and maybe made fun of his father. I don't know. That's one, okay? Looked up on his nakedness could also mean he did something to his father. There's some traditions when that's said, that means he could have done something to his genitals, like cut them off or do something malicious. We don't know. The other option, which has become more to the forefront in a lot of Christians' minds, is that he had sex with his daddy. Okay? And with that, that is obviously, it's an act that is not approved by God. And it wasn't probably approved by his drunk daddy. And a curse was placed. Regardless of whatever the action was or the reason was, Ham didn't do something right. He did something out of order. And a curse by his daddy was spoken up on Ham. Okay? Now, in that curse, from what I could research, it does not talk about his ethnicity. It doesn't talk about his skin color. It doesn't do any of that. Okay? So, why this has become a question out of all these years later, which I think is all because of what's going on right now in our political arena and in the racial divide in our country. And I want y'all to remember, a house divided against itself cannot stand. And that's huge, okay? So we have to understand there's some underlying things that are transpiring that some of us are biting into, where we're eating it. We're eating the poison, we're drinking the Kool-Aid, because a house divided against itself cannot stand. And if we stay in this foolishness, an enemy is going to come in the back door and do some major damage to us on a whole nother level. We need to unify, and we need to move on from the foolishness, okay? Mankind was first created from Adam and Eve. What their ethnicity was, I really can't tell you. I can just say they're the original man and the original woman. Even science supports that we came from an original man, in most cases, and an original woman. All of the human race. When Noah was left, we're going to divide and be right off of Adam and Eve again, okay? Because they're descendants of Adam and Eve. God did not destroy all of mankind. He left us Noah and his family. And the earth was repopulated. The Tower of Babel breaking off because we had uniform language. And God's like, oh, no, because we're trying to build a tower to the sky and all this other insanity, right? Everything broke off at that point. We broke off in different ethnic directions, languages. And we went throughout the world, which was the plan anywhere. What it got to go and multiply and grow and populate. This was the goal in the first place. And different ethnic groups were formed. Understand God is wise in all of his actions, in my humble opinion. So some of us may have darker skin based on where we ended up in the world, such as Africa. Our pigmentations or melanin was needed to help us survive in those conditions and climates. People who might have been from other parts, that they might have been lighter than us. But if you notice, the melanin ranges from that pink all the way down to sometimes what looks like a black. But our range is huge, okay? But our ethnic background is just our ethnic background. It's irrelevant. And it's not based that we're under some curse of Ham. Ham's issues was something totally different. Has nothing to do with your African American heritage and that all African Americans come off from Ham. There are different areas of Africa that all of us in America who are of African American, that's why we say the whole continent. But some of us could be Ethiopian. Some of us could come from the Egyptian background. Some of us could come from other tribes, Nigerian, Kenyans. There are so many different areas of Africa that we could range from. And the melanin in those areas are different. It's like Latinos. We use the word Latino, but Latina could be Cuban, Mexican, Spaniard. Latino is anybody that comes from a Latin Spanish type group. They have a commonality with the language, but they could be from different areas and be Latin. If they don't know how they got here, and they might have been born here, they might say, I'm Latin American. You know, we are getting caught up in the skin color game way too much. One of the things that I do like that has come out is this, and I haven't done it yet, but I'm leaning towards doing it, is the DNA test. And if I do mine, I'm going to do it through, not 24andMe, what's the other one? It's the one that's out of, hey, Southside the Trucker, welcome to the channel. It's out of, oh my God, it's actually done by the Mormons. And they are the ones who actually do. I'm going to go through theirs because they have been doing Ancestry.com. They have been doing tracking of family histories for years. They have a huge library in Utah, and they have been tracking histories, whether it doesn't matter what your nationality, your ethnicity is. They've been doing it for years. And I would trust kind of theirs. The 24andMe, I don't know, this too new, and I go with the Mormons. I just think that I just kind of like the information and what they've been doing or why. They've tracked it regardless where you're from, and they have a huge library of tracking family histories. They've been doing it for years. I thought about doing it a while back, and now that they have where you can do it actually based on your DNA, I would like to see. So I'm going to probably end up doing the Ancestry.com one. And I like that because here in America, we've gotten so caught up in the BS. I hate to say it, that's the only way I can put it. You got folks, and I'll see if I can find a video. They're not even chocolate like me. They might be like this, and then find out they got a big chunk of Africa up in their line. Okay? Because we don't know African American history. We don't talk about it in school. And because the history in America has predominantly been of Anglo, or what you would consider sometimes European white, hate to say it, what they fail to talk about, what they don't want to talk about, is the ugly part of slavery. That's called rape. Or it's called relationships with folks of different, black folks. That's what it's called. So what they don't realize is sometimes master had his slave children that might have been able to pass. That's how we've gotten this in America, We got people like us who can pass, right? And they don't look like us, but they black. Y'all grew up with some. I know you did. We used to call them yellow, and I did. That's mean, but we used to, it used to be a thing like you had the chocolate blacks was against the lighter skinned blacks. Stupid, 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 stupid. Still African American, and I hate the whole color thing. Y'all know, okay? We know whether you this color or this color, what's on our line until we probably do this DNA test. My mother, her hair, my father's mother, she could braid it. It looked just straight up like a Native American's hair. Her birth certificate says she was Native American. She got land in Oklahoma. Her heritage is Choctaw, Chickasaw, Native American, okay? When I said, oh, because I found this little girl, Grandma, you Indian. You Indian, Grandma. Grandma said, baby, I'm Negro. Because my grandma knew her heritage from sitting on the stoops and listening. And we know that one of the slaves that came over who formed our family, and I don't know if it's her father or her grandfather, was an Ethiopian slave. Okay? So she got Negra in her. So in her world, because how it was in that day, one drop of black blood made you black. If y'all want to go on the color scale that has been the crap they've been feeding us. If that's the case, I'm going to let you know right now. If we start doing some DNA tests, there's a whole bunch of black, white. So we need to get off the foolishness. That's why I said, a house divided against itself cannot stand. We are an intermingled group. We're a big salad bowl. And because of all that is happening, all the intermingling that's happened, whether wanted or unwanted, whether raped during slavery or not raped during slavery, whether relationships happen. I was here in West Memphis, Arkansas today, and I'm walking up, and it's funny to me to see this in this day and time. We see sisters get with white men. Okay, that's before, and white men have been attracted to us, to women, to black women for a while. Okay, we see sisters get with white men. Black men have always gone for white women because, in a sense, I mean, there's psychological reasons why that has happened. But in an earlier part of time, it was a way to get back at the white man because the white woman was his prize. Now it's just happening. That's who they end up with. As long as you love the person, I don't really care what the nationality is. My father's side of the family, that's what we got. I got Asian folk in my family. I got African folk in my family. My brother-in-law is Mexican. I got white folk in my family, or what you would consider white folk if you look at their skin color. I don't know what they might be mixed with. We got a rainbow coalition up in my family, okay, on my father's side. On my mother's side, my brother, one of my brothers, his wife, the woman looked like she might be Irish or something. She Irish, Scandinavian. He married to somebody who's, what would consider white. My other brother, his wife is half Mexican, half black. We're getting caught up in the wrong stuff, and it's very dangerous where we're getting caught up because we're caught up in trivial stuff that's old crap. And under the current leadership that's been bubbled to the surface, that's dividing the house, which is America. And with the house divided, we're not seeing the big picture that the enemy is coming in the back door. Russia, North Korea. They doing the do, and we're being set up. But we're so busy with the BS. God forgive me looking at that. We're not seeing the grand schemes of everything. That's why I say, I believe Trump is supposed to be in office, but we're not looking at what God is doing with all of this. We have a president who is sexually morally out of order. Was it relationships while in a marriage? He's married. Relationships with, porn stars and all that other stuff. Lies. A very kind of sinful man. Narcissistic. Question, Lord, why did you put him there? Because, see, my Bible tells me I place kings. I mean, God placed kings. He puts leadership in position for a reason and a purpose. Why him? Now, granted, some of the stuff he's doing, I don't even think Trump understands why he's doing some of the stuff he's doing. I really don't. I think he just runs with the ball because some ball to run with and to start controversy. But what he doesn't realize is he is being stair-stepped to do the things he's doing because God is placing things in order for the wrapping up of time and the coming back of Jesus. That's what's happening. And the introduction to the Antichrist. That's what's happening. You believe what you want to believe. I'm just telling you where I come from and what I believe. People can like it, love it, lump it, whatever. Okay? All this is happening to wrap everything up. He's in office, and everything he stands for is exactly how our country is. We're morally bankrupt. We're sexually perverted on a lot of levels. A lot of levels. Narcissistic. We're narcissistic on some level. My father is extremely narcissistic. Narcissism means self-centered. It's about me. It's what I want. It's like an insolent child. I'm going to get it my way. I'm going to do it my way. It's all about me. Okay? Narcissistic. That's grown little boy. That's why I call him my brother, my dad. There's your brother, you and your little brother Trump. Y'all both narcissistic 70-year-old males. Grown little boys. Both of them. My dad has sexual issues, so does Trump. Both sexually pervs. And I'm not saying pervs necessarily with kids, preferably not, but perverted on some level. Okay? They're both, what do you call it? Male chauvinists. Both of them. Okay? My father is very much a male chauvinist. He thinks women should do shit for him, and women are somewhat, in our opinion, I think he thinks women are beneath him. Okay? Because usually a male chauvinist feels that a woman is subservient to him and that she is beneath him. I'm sorry, didn't I tell y'all that a woman came from the rib? Equal to, on the side here. Means she has a purpose. I'm also going to give y'all something that is just my view. Women have a strange kind of spiritual wisdom. Instinct. Hey, Adam Elms, welcome to the channel. A strange kind of instinct that women have, okay? It is my premise, my thought process. Something and I could be wrong, the Bible does not tell me this. Eve spiritually was held longer up in the spiritual plane. In my sense, when God spoke her into being, I'm going to presume with him or wherever he had her. I believe she had a certain spiritual wisdom. I also believe, and it's not written, that is why Satan attacked her first. He didn't go for Adam first. Adam, I think, was a more simple man, obedient in the sense that I was born first, and Daddy God told me that I'm not to do this. So to manipulate Adam, he had to go for the one who I think was stronger spiritually because he needed her to move in the physical realm to being that might have shown up in a fleshly form. I don't know. I'm presuming. I really believe he had to hit her first on a spiritual level. I just do, because she was held spiritually first. So she was more sensitive, in my opinion, to spiritual things, which is somewhat what we see today, even in the church. That's why you usually see more females in the church than you do males. Men are more in tune with the world as it is. Women can be more in tune spiritually. And I really believe it's because we were held in the spiritual plane longer, and we're more sensitive on a spiritual level. That's just my belief system. I could be wrong. There's nothing stating that biblically. But as I just started, because I ask God questions and things I get in my gut. And that's just something I looked at and I'm like, okay, wait a minute. Eve was held here longer. Adam was created in the physical. He was created long enough to name animals. And work the ground. And then God to say, wait a minute, there's no help for Adam. And we now need to create him a human companion. He was here working down here long enough that after a while, God said, okay, let's go and bring Eve onto the scene. Okay? We need to be very careful when we get caught up in that. And, what I used to tell people, even in the dysfunction of, because I talk to a lot of people about dysfunction of families. Obviously, I come from a very dysfunctional family. Be caught more up in Jesus than in the bull crap. And if you caught more in him, you'll walk and suck on a treadmill of all the drama that has happened to us that we don't let Daddy God infiltrate our life to heal us the way he needs to heal us, to deliver us the way he needs to deliver us, and to help us. And like I said, it's a work in progress. It's just a work in progress, trust me, to forgive some of the stuff that has happened to us along this life journey from other individuals. And one of the biggest things, biblical things, and I will say this, our fight is not against flesh and blood, but against powers and principalities. We're talking about spiritual things in dark places. We're talking spiritual stuff. It's not against this, because what we have to understand is we're influenced by things we sometimes don't see. Those weird thoughts that come in your mind. You know what I'm saying? And you're like, why did I think that? Why did that cross my mind? That's the stuff we need to be concerned with. Or when God is talking to us, we need to be able to be in tune with, to me, God of the Bible, to know what's spiritually presented for us that's good and what's bad. If we start getting caught up in this racial divide, are we descendants from Ham? It's irrelevant. We're descendants from the original man and woman, which Ham was. And there is nothing biblically that says, oh yeah, African Americans came from Ham. We come from all different backgrounds. Slaves didn't just come from Ethiopia. They came from different places. And we were divided from the Caribbean down here to America. We have a broad scope. We don't want to get caught up in old, crappy, dumb, racial rhetoric that tries to justify our skin color. Okay? Our skin pigmentation, our melanin. If anything, and you want to understand where the divide of the ethnicities happen, go read about the Tower of Babel. That is where I really believe the divide happened. Languages have to communicate with other human beings that were like them. And our pigmentation, our melanin, helped based on where we were in the world. Africa is a hot country. A darker pigment skin will get along where. If you go to Scandinavia, it's a country that's colder, cooler, so you're going to get a lighter pigmentation or melanin or none. You know, we really need to see that and understand that. If we do, we'll have a better understanding. So if somebody who's racially motivated to tell you that you from XYZ because your skin is black, I really hope it didn't fall the wrong way. Okay, I had a bag of chips and I was hoping it fell. And I hope it didn't fall where it's all on the floor. Don't get caught up in the BS. That's all I can tell you. Don't get caught up in the BS. If you want to affect what's going on positively, read that Bible and start educating people on being a human, being a person, and praying that folks wake up and get delivered on both sides of the coin, whether they're African American, whether they're Anglo-Saxon, European white, whether they're caught up in this racial dumb crap. Pray that they get some mental freedom from the dumb stuff. That to me is huge. And we need to realize our house is divided. And right now we're becoming more and more divided. And an enemy is going to creep in the back door and cause all sorts of crazy havoc if we don't get our shiznit together. We also need to realize that all this is happening. I call this season a season of exposure. Okay? Everything's been exposed. Cosby, craziness with Trump, the underbelly of racism in America. You got the R. Kelly scandal. You got Wendy Williams and her husband. I mean, these are prime figures, but there's a lot of exposure happening right now. You've got all these men who were in powerful positions that have done all sorts of nasty stuff to women. And we have a movement now called #MeToo that talks about rape, molest, incest, sexual harassment on the job. All this has been exposed. It's not happening for no reason. It's happening for a reason. Kimberly Holland, how you doing, debate? How you doing? It's happening for a reason. And that It's happening because I really believe the only way to get freedom, and I say, let's use an alcoholic for an example. Use a fat person like me. The only way to get freedom as an alcoholic is, what's the first thing you got to do? Then you have to take the step to change. If you don't ever get exposed and you don't say, you know what, I'm a drug addict, I'm an alcoholic, then how do you get freedom? You don't. You stay on the treadmill of dysfunctionality, of brokenness, of addiction, of alcoholism. If you don't ever admit you're broken, how do you get fixed? You don't. You stay on the treadmill. That's why families, the generational curses go years and years and years and years down generations, because nobody ever stood up and say, I'm broken, so that I don't cast this down to the future generation. Because it's biblical. You don't believe me? Go look at David and Solomon. Just go look. Solomon had the same issue as his daddy. Women. Come on. He might have had generational blessings, but he also had generational curses. If you go back, once we get to the New Testament and you look at Jesus, when he dealt with people, what's the very first thing that most people did when they came to him? Confess. Because I can't heal you, I can't deliver you, I can't fix you until you can admit to your crap. I'm just saying. In America, we have been basically sweeping our dysfunction under the rug for so long. One of the biggest things we truly never ever dealt with completely was the racial divide, which is bullcrap. The whole thing is crap. So what's come back to the surface? The thing that we swept under the carpet that's been going on for years, discrimination, that's been going on for years. Or the perverted sexual stuff that has come really to the surface on a whole bunch of levels. And now we have a movement of women who have been downtrodden. I'm one of them, because of sexual travesties that have happened to us. And so now we're not where we want to be. You understand? God wants to use folks, and he can't use broken stuff. He can, but let me put it like this. He can't move the way he really wants to move until he deals with your issue. Quick story. And y'all go look at it yourself. One of my favorite, it wasn't originally my favorite until God showed me something about it. The woman at the well. He left all the disciples somewhere else. He had a mission to go meet this woman at this well. This woman was somebody who was in her society of ill repute. She'd been married several times. She didn't even go get her water at the same time as everybody else. She went on her own. I used to sit in churches and hear ministers preach about this raunchy woman, what kind of woman she was, all this. What they really didn't preach was the depth of what took place between Jesus and this woman. Story. Okay, and I'm going to do it in my layman's term. Jesus meets this woman at the well. He gets rid of the disciples because they're going to be a hindrance. He don't want them in the conversation. He needs to have a one-on-one conversation with her. So basically, it's like a little counseling session, right? So him and the woman having this little conversation. She got attitude in the very beginning, basically. Jesus like, woman, give me something to drink. And she's like, who are you to ask me for something to drink? You know, basically, what you a Jew. You asking me that, and I'm not a Jew. What was she? Forgot what her nationality was. She's a different nationality, okay? Part Jew, part something else, okay? Samaritan or something like that. I can't remember what she was. But anyway, she was mixed up. She was half Jew and something else, okay? So, and I can't remember the nationality right now off the top of my head. Anyway, who are you, a Jew, asking me to give you something to drink? Because the Jews had gotten kind of uppity because they were the religious order of the day. Very bad thing. There's Christians like that too. Jesus said, if you knew who I was, you'd ask me for something to drink. The conversation kept going back and forth. He says, woman, go get your husband. Basically, I'm a man, I don't need to talk to another man. And she basically says, he says, you just speak truth. You don't have a husband. Man, you with right now ain't even your husband. Basically, I even know you with a man. Even if he ain't standing here right now, I can see that you with somebody. So he saw into the spiritual realm of what was going on in her life. Conversation keeps going back and forth. They're at a well, okay? There's a parallel to the well, okay? So to understand, what Jesus is doing is he's digging a well in her. He's moving the muck and the mire out the way to bring forth, because he tells her, basically, there's something in you that was put there before the beginning of time. I need to bring that up. Okay, I need that. He says, if you knew, then there's things that will spring up of living water. Okay, I need to bring that out of you. So to get to that, I got to move all the muck and mire that has happened in this life out the way to get to you and to get to what I put in you before you were born. It's a parallel to a well. See, standing at a well talking about water, and if you don't understand the parallel, to get to a well, you got to dig through all the dirt, the muck, the mire, the rock, all the bad crap. Maybe I got to do through the bad crap of your life. Get that out the way so that I can get to what I need, which is the water that is a sustaining for life. There's things that have been put in us, and we're getting caught up in a whole bunch of muck and mire that's blocking life from flowing. So don't get caught up in that. So as far as my view of whether African Americans are from Ham or not, maybe we are. Maybe some are. Maybe some aren't. Did that curse transmit to us? Maybe it did. Maybe it didn't. But in the New Testament, see, that's Old Testament stuff. Jesus bridges the divide. He also gives us ways to clean the slate. He also gives us way to ask for forgiveness. He also gives us way to what's called new life. So why are we caught up into old things, old curses? If it is anywhere in your line, ask God to deliver you from it, break it over your life, and move forward. Hey, Wachapi. And that is the best way to move forward. Don't get caught up in the racially motivated insanity and what people may be using, racially groups using. It's the same to me as I'm seeing African Americans now who are questioning Jesus, and they're looking at pictures that were depicted of a blonde, blue-eyed Jesus. Why are you getting caught up in that? Jesus is deity. We going beyond human. We going into deity. We going into God. Why are we even caught up in the ethnicity of Jesus? But I can help you. Jesus was what's known as a Jew. Okay? He was from the line of David. In the human existence, his birth is divine. He's a son of God. What the hell difference does it make what his skin color was? What difference does it make? Now, he was a Jew, which tells me he was, if we're going to be caught up in the dumb race stuff, he was a person of color. That's why they're going up into synagogues shooting up folks from these folks that think they pure white. Because these are an ethnic group that don't fit their Nazi mindset of what's supposedly pure white. It's some craziness. When you go to the Bible and it describes him, it describes a gold tone, does it make? Because this is a shell. What I care about is not the shell of Jesus. I care about the deity of Jesus. That's what I care about. I care about that part that can go talk to his heavenly Father and get me in. That's the part that I care about. I care about the part that was able to survive in a flesh shell, hang up on a cross, and bleed for me. That's the part I care about, and that's the deity. Because none of us could withstand that. But he went through, carry a cross all the way, hang up on the cross, and then say, now I commit my spirit. None of us could do that. Not zero. So that tells me that's deity. That's what I believe. So when you ask a loaded question, there's the loaded answer. Some people may not want to watch this. Like I said, it's going to get a little Christian on here. It's going to get a little religious. It's going to get a little political. But I've come to the point that if that's the question that comes, then God has a reason for me dealing with it. So in my humble opinion, I'm not worried about no curse of Ham. I'm not worried about it. And do I think that is why we are black? No. And if we really want to look at it, I guess we really could say that Adam and Eve were probably of a darker complexion, being that they came from dirt. I'm just saying. Most dirt is brown, ain't it? Now, I don't know to what degree their pigmentation was, but I ain't never seen no white, really white dirt. I'm just saying most dirt is brown. I'm just saying. So, to what degree their pigmentation was, I think is totally irrelevant. I'm just saying. Anyway, that's the answer to my question, to your question, NATO, from me, my view. Um, if I offended, I'm sorry, but I'm me. I'm not gonna be anybody else but me. Um, that was the question I got from NATO Beast. So hopefully she'll go back and watch it. And for anybody else who's watching it, I'm not a fan of the whole race, black, white, green, purple, yellow. I ain't a fan of that because it's a bunch of bull. And we need to get off that bandwagon. And what we need to do is we need to bridge the divide, because right now we are so divided in this country. Like I said, we're going to let an enemy walk right in the back door and bend us over and put on a barbed wire condom and have a heyday with what they're going to do to us if we don't get our crap together. And we also need to get ourselves together on a spiritual level. I understand there may be people of other spiritual backgrounds. I'm Christian, so I'm going to come from a Christian viewpoint, okay? And while I have friends who are Muslim, I've got friends who are Buddhist. One of the girls who's on the Trucker 411, she's a Buddhist. She's a Buddhist. We may not agree, but I tell you what she will do. She had a friend of hers who was sick. He's fighting cancer. You know what she did? Hey, Shannon, I got a friend of mine. Can you be praying for him? She Buddhist. He's not. No problem. I got you. I'll pray for him. I'm not judging our belief system, but it said a lot to me. For those of you who are Christian, you understand what I mean. Because you had to reach over here to this side of the aisle. Not Buddha. But anyway, I'm just saying. I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying. And I will pray for you. I put you on a prayer list with a group. I got a whole group of folks. Okay? We'll pray for you. I got nothing. You can be whatever. You can believe whatever. You can be Hindu. America, I don't even have a problem with that. We have a bunch of different nationalities in America. I think that's good. Excuse me. Religious thought processes in America. I don't have a problem with that. But if you're Christian, I need you to be Christian. I need you to believe what you believe and know what you believe. I'm not saying you got to be perfect, because I've learned that perfect is irrelevant. David was not perfect, but God says he's a man after his own heart. David was a hot ass mess. He was a hot ass mess. He was. My biological father is a hot ass mess. Do I believe he's a believer? From what I know, yes. Does he have issues? Absolutely. But my name is Shannon. I'm 400 pounds. I got issues. I'm not even handling my house right. This the house, which my spirit is in. So I got issues. I got lots of other issues. I got lots of other struggles. I got a lot of other breaks. And walking this life is a constant walk of us just trying to get through daily and move through where we're broken, and to prayerfully do the things that God has for us to do. To cross what paths we need to cross, to help who we need to help, to bless who we need to bless, to speak into the lives of the people we need to speak into. That's really, truly, if you want to know what Christianity is about, that's what it's about. It's about leaning on God, being inspired by him, to walk through this life, even in our brokenness, even in where we call him the enemy, where Satan and his hordes are trying to drag us down, and to get through those things and then be a blessing to someone else along the journey. That could be within your family. That could be outside your family. It could be one person. You might be born just to interact with one person. I'm just saying. There are people that are born just to interact with one person. That's their whole purpose. God put them here to do that. There are people born in order to create a person. Come on now. To come through a lineage. Imagine Martin Luther King. Imagine Malcolm X. There are people born to have an impact. Whether it's for 1 or 101. How many people did it take who spoke into the lives of these men? I was watching Denzel Washington, and he talks about the fact he was failing out of college, or whatever, and he went, I think, to the beauty shop or something, and a Christian lady came in, and she basically prophesied over his life and said, "You're going to preach to da 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 number of people." Now, we always want to take things or prophecies which aren't, and I'm not saying, because I believe that prophecy can happen even outside. It still happens today when people can speak into your life and say something, because there's some things that have been said and I wasn't even there. And I'm like, how do you know? Well, you got to have some kind of spiritual connection, because if I wasn't there and you know about me, how did you know? He had no idea who he would later become. If y'all go watch Malcolm X, tell me that didn't preach to you. Some of the movies he's done have preached in its own way to us. Granted, he played a man who was Nation of Islam, but that life was transformative in this world. Did it not have purpose? Malcolm was born from a Christian man. His father was a minister, a Christian minister, who was murdered because of his skin tone, and he stood for civil rights. Isn't it kind of ironic that he comes from a line of that? I'm just saying. So we really need to see the bigger picture. And again, this is not to downplay, because I have people from all nationalities who watch, our ethnic backgrounds, nationalities, who watch this channel. What I'm going to tell y'all, stop being caught up in your skin color and get caught up in your ethnicity. Find out who you are. Like I said, I'm probably going to do the Ancestry.com. Find out about where you're from and the history of your people. And a lot of us have more in common than we don't. One of the biggest commonalities we have is we come from the first parents of the world, Adam and Eve. Regardless of pigmentation, melanin of your skin, those are four parents. Regardless of your Christian, non-Christian beliefs, those are your four parents. So in the words of Rodney King, can't we all just get along? I'm just saying. We need to get along in some force, especially here in America. Especially here in America. Anyway, that's the subject. I done went like an hour and 21 minutes. So, y'all, yeah, I'm just breaking it down. So that hopefully answered her question. Dustin brought something up that happened. I'll have to go look at it, Dustin. I have no idea about it yet. I guess some trucking company just closed its doors, and some truckers are kind of like what happened to Yellow or Roadway or whatever that was, where they did that, and preferably those drivers will be okay. I'll have to go look it up because I haven't done it. Okay, I don't even know who Falcon Transport is. Okay, I don't know who they are. They're obviously not a huge company, but prayerfully, the drivers can get somewhere safe and get back home. Youngstown, Ohio. Okay, yeah, I don't know much about them, but prayerfully, like I said, the drivers will get somewhere safe and get back home, and they'll have enough fuel to get to where they're, get home or get close to where they can park the truck, get a bus, and get home, or a a plane. Okay, steel industry. But anyway, so that's the topic of the day. That was what I really wanted to talk about. Oh, and I did pick up the. I was here in West Memphis. I'm at the Walmart today, and I did pick up the actual giveaway item. So y'all make sure y'all go back to the 1000 live video and just put a comment below. You can just put hi or whatever. Just put something below. Chris Lee, thank you for joining the channel. How you doing, bro? But yeah, so you have to go back because I already talked about the major topic that somebody asked me to talk about. It is a Christian, political, racial topic. So you can go back and play that and do what you want with it. And again, guys, if you like this, go ahead and make sure you share it out. Give us a thumbs up. And hit the bell if you want to get reminders. Dustin actually had made a suggestion about getting some gear for the Trucker Doll channel. I will be doing that for this channel as well as the Trucker 411. If you guys don't know what the Trucker 411, I haven't been putting them at the links at the bottom, but I will once I get back to Lubbock, which I should be back there Tuesday, Wednesday. Yeah, but I got loads delivered through Wednesday, so I'll be back fully done with this load, with the load that I'm on. I've got like 4 stops on it. I got 2 here in Arkansas and 2 in Texas, 2 in Lubbock. Oh yeah. I could turn my truck in to have them do something on the truck, a little mechanical. Well, I'm gonna have them check something. I don't know if they're gonna have to do something, but I definitely need them to check something because it's something I just noticed. It's a new truck, but you do have new kinks. So, like, I had that little thing, little triangle thing back here on my APU. Um, so you do get new kinks. Um, but I am gonna have them check something on the truck, and so I'll be there for a couple days. I'm gonna see the Avengers and go get me some sushi, and I haven't had a Kobe steak, so I'm gonna try that. They got a hot pot place out there. Hot pot, if y'all never had that, it's like an Asian broth, and they put a bunch of stuff in it, almost like pho, which is like, you know, a soup, and then you have a lot of stuff you can put in it. So they have a hot pot place out there I want to try, and then I'm probably gonna get me some oysters and a fish and a margarita with salt. I like margaritas. I like Bloody Marys and margaritas. Not major drinker, but I have a drink. So, and I like wine. I like wine a lot. So that's kind of what's going on. But yeah, so, and Dustin, I'll look into that and do something. Also, I don't know if you guys saw the video of the trucker and be praying for him. God knows, you know, the baby did some really bad stuff. In Colorado, I don't know if you guys saw that. He killed 4 people in the truck. He was driving extremely fast, past 2 runaway ramps. Says that his brakes went out. I don't know if I really believe that. But he passed 2 runaway ramps and 4-car explosion, killed 4 different people. He's being held on a $400,000 bond, probably $100,000 for each person he killed. He's 23 years old. His life is, God forgive, you know, his life is pretty much done. It's going to take a miracle of God to get that boy out of prison. But he is most likely going to prison. In this industry, people, what I'm going to tell you is when we drive these trucks, we have to be very cognizant. I'll try, yeah, Chris, I'll put the link below, but if you're on the Trucker 411 on our Facebook page, we actually have the article, the news thing, everything's up there. And you can actually see the video. Hey, Travis, you can see the video. You can actually, I'm sure you might even be able to pull YouTube. It happened in Colorado. He's 23 years old. He passed 2 of the, what do you call them? You know what I'm talking about, when runaway ramps. He passed 2 runaway ramps in Colorado, killed 4 people, explosion. It's a hot ass mess. I don't know who he drove for, but he's 23, $400,000 bond, and he is in custody. He was not, they said he wasn't intoxicated, you know, and I'm going to say this, and don't mean it mean, I mean, fellas, you know, God bless you, and you guys have really been the ones who have done this industry. Females, we are coming in more and more. And I do see some females who drive like this. It's rare. It's more rare with us, but it's, I know that you guys have that natural testosterone aggression, but really back in these trucks. Because, and when you guys, if for those of you who aren't, I mean, there's some who are very cognizant of how they drive, but I see stuff that is mind-blowing out here on this road, and some of you do too. Really back. What the way, you know, I think he gave the excuse of his brakes. I think this dude was just going fast. Because he moved over and got in the hammer lane. He was hauling ass. They have video footage. He was, and at the end, he couldn't probably stop the truck. We need to be very aware when we're driving this vehicle. Right now I'm 43,000 in the box. I'm 79 something right now. 79, 78, something like that. I'm heavy. That means I can't ride up on a car and expect to stop my brakes and stop if that car, I need to have distance. I can't ride up on another truck. I need to have distance. But I've seen trucks ride up on each other almost bumper to bumper. And I'm thinking to myself, my God, how are you going to stop? And all of them going 65 plus. Easy, because you passed me and I might be between 55 and 60. I'm laying back. I have my truck goes 71 miles an hour. That's my truck top speed, 71 miles an hour with a cruiser pedal for the company I work for now. Pull it back. I want to get home. That's the first thing. I want to get home. But I want to get home also means I want to get home by not seeing it in a prison cell either. I don't want to kill Sally Sue. I don't want to kill somebody's baby. I don't want to kill somebody's mama. I don't kill somebody's daddy. And I damn sure don't want to kill somebody's child. So We need to reel it back. And like I said, if you go see it, I'll try to get the link and put it below after this video's done. It's disturbing. It's very. I watched the aftermath today, and it's freaking disturbing. Somebody asked the question, do you think that he needs to go to prison for this? It's really hard to say yes because he's a baby. 23 is a baby. Oh my God, it's just a baby. And a lot of people get in this industry not understanding the full ramifications of what a CDL can be. Okay? So when I say that to you, you need to understand when you have a commercial driver's license, we complain about DOTs after us, and they always want to do this, that, and the other thing, and it's always the driver's fault. Unfortunately, you have to understand that is the thought process. It is always our fault in their world. But when you have blatant situations like this, past 2 runaway rams, like, what the hell was he thinking? I don't understand. Again, I wasn't the one behind the wheel. I don't know if his brakes went faulty. But at this point, it's a commercial driver's license, and he is going to be held accountable. And, I don't know if he gets paroled. I don't know. Like I said, 4 lives gone in seconds. And really 5 lives, because his is gone as well. I don't know if he has children. I don't know if he has family. I don't know his situation. But his life, a breathing life, is now going to be confined to prison for manslaughter of 4 different people. Reel it back, people. When you're in these trucks, remember that's somebody's family on the road. Remember, you want to get home. Not only do you want to get home alive, you want to get home and not be home, be a prison cell. You want to get to your home. You want to get to your state. You want to get to your people. You want to get to your friends. You want the freedom to go to a movie. You want the freedom to go eat out. You want to go do whatever you do. You don't want the freedom of being in a prison cell next to Bubba or Sally or whoever because, you made wrong choices. Be cognizant about what we do here. It's critical that, it is. That's one of the reasons when I was training people, I'm like, 10 years worth of driving. Bill has a saying, and God forgive me, I'm going to put it like this. If you worried about your pussy at home, then stay your ass at home because there's some dangerous shit out here. Quote unquote Bill. If you worried about your penis at home, then keep your ass at home because there's some dangerous shit out here. God forgive me, but that is a Bill quote. My buddy Trucker Bill, who mentioned me in the industry, it is one of the most true quotes I can give you. When you get behind this wheel, you need to be focused on this. I'm not sitting up there focused on Grumpy Grady. I can't be focused on Grumpy Smurf. I might giggle if something's funny to me, but my focus is what's in front of me. My half-sister's mother passed. She called me while I was driving. I said, baby girl, I'm going to have to call you back because I can't focus and drive this truck if I'm, my heart's trying to go out to somebody who's lost her mother. She's not my mother, but it's her mother. She's my half-sister. And, you're upset and you telling me what's going on with your mama. I can't do that right now. But when I pull over later, I'm going to call you and talk to you. It's hard to separate, but it is something we have to do to stay focused on what we do here. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this live up, y'all. Anybody who missed any part of it, you can go back and play back. Give us a like, give us a thumbs up. I'm going to be working on some gear for us. Me talking to Fiver. Thank you, Dustin. I'll probably do that once I get home. I'll put the link below for the video. Give me a few minutes. See, I might have to come back. I'll put the link below for the video where the young man ran over the people and blew up everything. I'll put that link below. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to link below. That's off the number 1. I'll be doing a video on the Trucker 411. I was going to do it tonight, but I'm probably going to do it tomorrow while I'm getting unloaded. Regarding a question from one of our people on the 411. And DCI Jams did a response to her on the Trucker 411 Facebook page. So if you can join us over there. It's the Trucker and the number 411. and you can look us up that way, or you can look up Trucker Doll and you can link to it for me, however you want to do it. My name on Facebook is Getting Saucy, but like I said, you can link to me any of those 3 ways. He did a really good video response to her question, and then she clarified her question more. So I'm going to deal with some of what he said in my response video, as well as her clarification questions. And it has to do with driver pay, unions, politics. And I think it's a great question. DCI answered it from a different perspective, but I think his answer also merits some conversation as well. And I don't think his answer was bad. I'm 20 years in the game, but I've got coming up on 6 years in the game. So I want to respond as a driver with 6 years now in the game, and what I see in response to how he responded and to her question regarding regarding pay, union pay and politics. So I'm going to try to respond to that. So I'll be doing that sometime tomorrow. I was going to do it tonight, but this is an hour or something, so I got some stuff I want to do on the truck. I need to go to sleep because I got to get up at like 4 in the morning in order to get up the street here like 15 minutes, 15, 20 minutes from here, and go check in with these folks over here at Family Dollar. I got to go to Family Dollar. I tried to call them and see if they want to take it early, but I've had such not good luck at going places early. So now I don't go. I'm just on this load. I'm going right at the scheduled time, so there ain't no drama because I'm going to treat them like Walmart. Anyway, y'all, 2 and 2.